what are the biggest mistakes founders do with regards to sales and really creating income for their startup? Let's talk about perhaps one of the most important topics, and not talked often enough, which is how can we become a mean sales machine within our startup. First of all, let's look at the context. As an investor, I will never invest in a company that cannot prove to have the capacity to sell and to be able to sell like crazy. Okay, great product is not enough. One more context is that sometimes the difference between a successful startup and a failing startup is the ability to close a deal, sometimes a big deal, which is really a turning point for the startup. Let me invite you to consider that we have forgotten how important sales is in the process. You may have the best product, the best company, best team. If you cannot sell your product, if you cannot become a crazy master in selling, nothing will happen. And I'm often amazed, when I grew up and I had my first startup in London in the late 90s, I used to listen to sales cassettes all the time, the Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar, what's happening around that? So the purpose of this short talk is to focus on some mistakes I see when I talk to startups and I talk to founders about creating an amazing sales force that will take their business forward. So I wrote a few ideas down. Let me shoot it and tell you. But before this, quick story. Maybe some of you already heard me sharing this, but one of the traumatic events I remember as a founder is that I had this important meeting in Scotland when I felt like I had to close this deal. If I don't close it, that's it. My business is kaput. And we had no money. We had like £2 per day budget just for eating. And I needed to buy a ticket from London, King's Cross, to Edinburgh for 1 hour meeting. £70 it cost just the ticket, which was for me, huge amount. And then for 5 hours, I went all the way. This was after a pilot we've done to the Bank of Scotland, and I needed this deal. The feeling I had is if I don't get this deal, I'm done. And I remember the fears I had, the conversation in my head. I remember, stepping down in the train station, taking a black cab, talking to the driver a little bit, and then going up the stairs, feeling very heavy, second floor to meet the marketing director of Bank of Scotland. We had a successful pilot. All I needed is to get the deal. I didn't get the deal. And I need to drive 5 hours back feeling this is the end of the world. Now, in hindsight, and in that moment for me, I said, what's happened? What happened to me? Then analyzing it, obviously in hindsight, I could see that, I was focused about myself. The focus was about me and my feelings instead of being focused on the customer and how can we create an amazing solution for him and how can we transform, what they did there in terms of the customer experience. Now, in that moment, I knew there is something that I don't know about selling, about being effective in the right time and in the right place. So I want to run by you some, I would say key elements, so key mistakes that startups are doing with regards to sales and pushing their startup forward. So I wrote a few things down. Let's move forward. First thing is, I call it enrollment and registration. Yeah. One breakthrough I had is that I thought a sales conversation is a one conversation. it was amazing to understand that the sales conversation is, or any conversation, if you look at this, when you want to influence somebody, yeah, it's all about influencing, yeah? We are in the game of influencing people to buy, to do things. It's about there are two conversations, separate conversations almost in this session. There is the enrollment conversation and there is the registration conversation, which is about closing. The enrollment is about enrolling the other side to be inspired, to see the opportunity for them, to understand that we are solving something really for them, enrolling them, getting them really moved, touched, inspired about who we are, about our solution for them, and about the opportunity for them. Only then we can go to the closing registration. Yeah, it's almost like in a dating. Yeah, you cannot jump straight to bed. Yeah, you need to have the two partners enrolled and feeling close to each other and the trust to be there. Yeah. So understanding that it's two separate conversations for me was a major breakthrough. My invitation to you is to see that you can be a master in these two separate conversations. The conversation of enrolling the other side, sharing, creating the bonding, and then how do we close the deal? Boom, 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 and be effective in both conversations separately. Second point, most of the founders I talk to do not understand the real pain of their customer. They're talking in, I would say, cliches. They're talking in overall solutions which are generic. Customers today will buy from you, especially today, yeah, especially now, COVID-19, will buy something from you if they feel that you really understand their pains. Like, it's nothing generic. It's not off-shelf products. Even if you think you have the best product, which is, good for everybody, it has to be tailored to the specific customer. Yeah. We just closed now with a specific customer, and we've tailored the solution. Although it was a generic solution, it was 100% tailored to their culture, to their taste, to their music, exactly what they're looking for. So understanding. And the other thing on that is most of the startups that I speak to are speaking about the features of the product and about what the product can do, but not speaking about the solution, the benefits. I see sometimes presentations talking about features. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You know that. Only benefits. I'm the customer. I want to know how my life will be different using your product. Yeah. One of the startups we've invested in, I saw their pitch. Talks about the product. Who cares? Who cares? How this product can generate me a new line of revenue. Yeah? How can we make more money out of that? What can we do differently? How our lives as a company will be transformed with your product? Okay, number 3. Some of the founders I speak to are not familiar with the strategy called the Lighthouse. I first heard the story about the Lighthouse when I heard Under Armour trying to penetrate to Germany. Under Armour, American company, wants to get into Germany around Adidas and Nike. What they've created is they took one shop in Munich, gave it the best attention in the world, gave it the top services and top solutions, and really gave them the best attention that you can think of. This shop became their lighthouse. The owner was so happy. He didn't want to deal with Adidas, and everything was about pushing Under Armour. And then other shops could call and the shop, and he was obviously the best salesman for Under Armour. Yeah. The concept, sometimes as founders, we are all over the place. We are talking to so many people, and we are, talking to customers, and we are saying, find your lighthouses. Yeah. Find those customers. high-profile customers if possible, and give them your best attention, unproportional attention. Make them your lighthouse speakers. Make them your best salespeople. Yeah? The lighthouse strategy. How many of those customers do you have at the moment? Next one. Find your champion. You know, when I'm looking to sell to a big, usually B2B, yeah? If you're looking to sell to a business, people underestimate the concept of, you know, they say, we have a great product, great solution, let's go to Adidas, let's go to, I don't know, Intel, let's go to big brands, small brands, retails, and offer them the solution. In order to sell something to an organization, especially B2B, especially now, it wouldn't be possible without a local champion that will be your guy in the organization. So if I want to sell something to a company, I need to find this guy in the company, not only that he has the budget and he has the authority, but he can fight, because companies are usually reluctant to take a decision. Yeah, you know the phrase paralyzing by analyzing. 100, committees, meetings, nothing will happen. Who is this guy that will really fight for you in the organization? Now, to find this guy, it takes something. Usually it takes what I call WIFM, to listen to the WIFM. WIFM is what's in it for me. What's in it for me? The WIFM station, yeah? People, regardless of where they are acting when they see an opportunity for themselves. The question is, can you identify the person, and also can you ask him questions? Can you engage with him? Understand what is in it for him? Maybe he's looking for a promotion. Maybe he needs to push something to, look better within the organization. Maybe there are some that's something we need to understand. Who is your champion? When you're looking to penetrate to a company, medium size, even, who is your champion? Sometimes it's the CEO, sometimes it's a director there, but he has to see something for himself. WIFM, yeah? What's in it for him, yeah, for me, yeah? That's how it operates. And if we just think, we have a great product, somebody will buy it, doesn't work like that. Next topic. Another big mistake when I speak to founders, I ask about sales. There is no system, there is no routine, sales system. They go a little bit here, they have a conference, they have a show, they have some calls they do. There is no, when we started Hype, the first big event was in Rio 2016. I brought 30 top industry leaders into this event. People ask me, how did you do that? What do you mean, how did I do that? For 6 months, I sat and sent 1,000 LinkedIn messages. 1,000. I sat in the gym, I sat everywhere. And those people were in Rio and they came over. It looks amazing. But there was a systematic way of doing that. What is your system? What is your process? How do you use automation for that? How do you use automation? Your CRM. How many hours a day are you focusing on sales? What's the process of generating new prospect? Is it by a fluke? Do you just hope that things will happen? What is the sales structure, the sales methodology? Yeah, I said in the beginning, a mean machine. Yeah, what is your, how does your mean machine looks like? Next topic. I want to talk about, just remind us about the difference between effective and efficiency. Some people are very busy in sales. They are busy in sales, but no tangible outcomes. The difference between being effective and being efficient. You can be efficient. You can drive a car, for example, efficiently. So you're not pushing the gas too much, you're using it properly, but you can drive it out of the clip into the ocean. You're driving efficiency. You're driving efficiently, but not effectively. Sales is about effectiveness. You know, how can you become more effective? What is the cycle, the cost per lead? What is the sales funnel? How can you make this as effective as possible? Next one. When I talk to founders, sometimes they say, people tell me they have problem with the price. Yeah, it's too expensive, too expensive. You know, this is a standard, I would say, you know, people say it's too expensive sometimes automatically. Now, our commitment as entrepreneurs is first of all to know how to overcome objections, but specifically around price. Now, let me share with you one insight I had about a fair price. What's your definition for fair price? It's not about calculating how much profit you have, 10%, 20%, no. Fair price is all about the value you give to the customer. Let's say this. I have, a very important taxation decision to make. Let's say I earned 100 million from an exit, yeah, and I need to make a decision that will impact the bottom line. A smart guy, which is a tax expert, can give me one tip in half an hour call, which will be worth for me millions. He can charge 200K for this call, and he will get it, because it's about the value he gives me. Yeah. If you're in the desert, you haven't drank for 2 days, and somebody will offer you a glass of water in $1 million, for you it may be worth it. You probably will take it. Fair price is always about the value you give. Always about the value you give. So first of all, to feel comfortable, if we are happy with the value we give to the customer and we are committed to that, we can then charge and feel comfortable about that. And there are various ways of understanding that I always tell my customers, with the price, you're concerned one time. With the quality of the service, you then need to deal with forever. So it's like the cliche, but if you want to get the best service, if you want to be able to give the best service, you need to be in a position to feel comfortable with the price and with objections that are coming with that, and overcome it. Next, the last one. When I speak to startups, I speak to founders, they say, I think I'm not ready yet. I think I need to wait a little bit, just, to add a little bit of, just so the landing page will be better, the value proposition will be better. And this is stopping them, yeah? In order to go out and sell, we need just to be there, to go out and sell. Sometimes a lot of people are just waiting, waiting for things to be perfect. Things are never perfect, yeah? In Tel Aviv, they say, if you launch the product, if you're not embarrassed by the version and the product you've launched, you probably launched too late, yeah? Obviously, in Germany, they would probably not really appreciate this, but, different of cultures. But I see a lot of startups on hold. They are waiting for things to be perfect. Things will never be perfect. If the product, minimum valuable product is there, go out there, sell. We call it in our values at Hype, fast and professional. Be fast and professional, not perfect. Okay, I hope this was useful. Sales, the art of selling. We are all selling all the time. Let's become masters, experts in selling and growing our businesses like crazy. Great day.